But what do we have right away? Dissent. And who's dissenting? Congressman Thomas Massie. So President Donald Trump blasted him last night on Truth Social. He put up a post first praising the House Freedom Caucus for their support and not letting the country down. He goes on to say, Congressman Thomas Massie of beautiful Kentucky is an automatic no vote on just about everything, despite the fact that he has always voted for continuing resolutions in the past. He should be primaried, and I will lead the charge against him. He's just another grandstander who's too much trouble. Not worth the fight. He reminds me of Liz Cheney before her historic, record-breaking loss. The people of Kentucky won't stand for it. Just watch. Do I have any takers? Anyway, thank you again to the House Freedom Caucus. So he goes on. So he calls out Congressman Thomas Massie, and this kind of set social media on fire with people taking Thomas Massie's side and saying, oh, he's a great congressman, and we shouldn't pass the bill. And so here's what I have to say. I like Thomas Massie as a congressman. He votes conservative 90% of the time. So there's no trouble with him there. I don't think he's a rhino. This is about Thomas Massie being a never-Trumper. Thomas Massie is anti-Trump. That is the issue that we have right here with Thomas Massie. Thomas Massie is somebody who blamed Donald Trump for January 6th. He said it was January 6th was President Donald Trump's fault. He is somebody that believes that the election in 2020 was fair and square, and that Donald Trump lost. He has, just like Donald Trump said, he has voted for continuing resolutions at least between 15 and 20 times. He has voted yes on the CRs. So this isn't something like Thomas Massie has never voted for spending ever. It's like, oh, this is against his judgment. This is against his will. This is his principles. He's voted yes on it 15 to 20 times at least. He voted during Biden's administration. He voted to raise the debt ceiling. So this isn't about Thomas Massie standing on principles. This is about Thomas Massie being anti-Trump. That's what this is about with Thomas Massie. He does not like President Donald Trump. What happened when the presidential election cycle was coming around? Who did he endorse for president? Ron DeSantis. He endorsed Ron DeSantis, who had zero chance to win. But he endorsed him just because he hates President Donald Trump. Now, what would have happened if we listened to Thomas Massie and everyone said, yeah, maybe Thomas Massie is right about everything. Let's endorse Ron DeSantis instead. Or let's say Trump wasn't able to run because the Democrats got their wish and took him off the ballot. What would have happened? If Ron DeSantis became the candidate, Kamala Harris becomes the president, the border is still open, people are flowing in, the J6ers are still in prison, and we're still in this big, huge mess that we've been in. But Thomas Massie endorsed Ron DeSantis. And I know the big check on this from people on the left is Thomas Massie doesn't take any money from AIPAC. He's not controlled by the Jewish lobbyists. And so that's the big praise that he gets from a lot of the people who are also anti-Trump that are out there on social media. But it's like, okay, and I like that. Right? I think that all that big funding money should be out of Congress, and I like the fact that he doesn't take the money. But let's not act as if like, oh, he endorsed Ron DeSantis. Ron DeSantis, where does he get his money from? He's a big pro-Israel person. He gets a ton of money from the pro-Israel PACs. So it's not like he's too principled because he doesn't want to endorse people that are taking money from Israel. It's not about that. Everything that he's doing is based on he hates President Donald Trump. That's the main ticket here to what's going on with Thomas Massie. That's why he's dissenting. He's going to be like this throughout Trump's entire term. This is why Trump is saying we're going to have to primary the guy in 26. That's why because Trump knows he's never going to be on his side. So why does he want him there? In Trump's best interest, why does he want the guy there? He's never going to vote on Trump's way. So why does Trump need him there? Are there other people we need to primary in Congress? You bet your ass there is. Right? Lindsey Graham, for one. We have plenty of people that we need to primary and stuff. But the reasoning for Donald Trump to do this is because Thomas Massie is anti-Trump and he's never going to get on board with no matter what. He's just going to be a grandstander. He's just going to be against Trump, and we don't need it right now. And I understand. I said, I don't like the CRs. I don't like the spending. This isn't adding any foreign spending. This is continuing what's going on to September. I don't like it either. But this is what needs to happen right now for President Donald Trump. There is a whole shitstorm that has happened here that Donald Trump has got getting attacked on all the fronts. So if he's asking for it, you got to. This is what we voted for. We didn't go to tons of rallies and pull all the stops out so that we could get Thomas Massie to stay in Congress. That's not what we did. You didn't get hundreds of thousands of people to show up at all of these Trump events to say, yes, we just need Thomas Massie in there. There's thousands of Thomas Massies. There's one President Donald Trump. He's the guy America got behind. He's the guy we put in there to try to fix this mess that we're in. And then he gets in there and you say, well, he shouldn't get to do what he wants. We shouldn't give him the bill that he says he needs. Well, what was the point of putting him there then? What was the point? Just keep the Democrats in there. Just put Kamala Harris in there then. So again, I don't like all of this stuff with the CR, the spending. Nobody likes it. How could you like it? But the guy is in there for 3 months, and everyone. Now look, the price of eggs came down, right? You know what's going to happen now? The media is never going to talk about the price of eggs again, ever. They talked about it for 2 months while President Donald Trump was in there, and the price of eggs was still high. That was it. 4 years while Biden was in there, they never talked about the price of eggs. And from this point on, they're never going to talk about it again because the price plummeted. Trump's in there he's in there 50 days. And they're like, well, why hasn't this happened? Why hasn't that happened? Why hasn't this happened? He's 50 days into this thing. He's asking for this. I say you got to give it to him. This isn't the Thomas Massie show. Like, I'm not here like, oh, if only we have Thomas Massie, the country would be better. That's not what we're here for. Thomas Massie didn't get shot in the head. He didn't get arrested, indicted. He didn't take a bullet for the country. President Donald Trump did that. Thomas Massie didn't give up $1 billion lifestyle to try to save the country. Trump did that. So let's stop acting like this is the Thomas Massie show. He's in there because the guy doesn't like President Donald Trump. That's the bottom line when it comes to that. So we'll see what happens with this continuing resolution vote.
You're listening to the Alec Show. The future is family.